UFC Vegas 84 is coming up in a couple weeks, and today, guys, I picked the top 3 fighters from the entire card that I hope win, regardless of my bets, regardless of my picks, regardless of anything that I talk about in these videos. I am going to sit back and actively cheer for these fighters to win. I will tell you why I'll be cheering for them, and I'd love to know if there are any fighters on the card that you will be cheering for afterwards. We're going to get into those fighters in just a second. Before we do, though, I do want to say hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. Let's start off, and I'm going to go from 3 to 1, the first fighter being Farid Basharat. He takes on Taylor Lapilus, and I wholeheartedly love watching Farid Basharat perform. It is an absolute pleasure to watch the skill that he displays in the octagon. He's one of those fighters that is undefeated, and honestly, I'm completely behind the hype. I really do think that from what we've seen from this guy, especially in his first 2 UFC fights, he has all the potential in the world to actually break into the top 15, break into the top 10, top 5, become champion in one of the toughest divisions in all of combat sports. The toughest division in combat sports, that being the UFC's bantamweight division. This dude has everything. He's technical, he has cardio, he has heart. I love watching Farid Basharat fight. I've known about him well before the UFC. He's very exciting, very technical. I hope that he gets the win against Taylor, and I hope that he continues his win streak because I would already love to see this guy against top talent. I really, really would. But guys, typically in these videos, I would go, okay, we talked about Farid, now we're going to go 2 and 1. But I have kind of the same reasons for both of these fighters. So I'm going to talk about them at the same time. Number 2 is going to be Andrei Arlovski, and number 1 is going to be Jim Miller. I want both of these guys to win. I know it's not going to happen with Jim Miller, but I'll sum it up with Andrei Arlovski. The dude's 45 years old. This could very well be his last fight. Honestly, especially since we finally saw his chin get cracked. Maybe he just doesn't have it. He's fighting Waldo Cortez Acosta. The dude can crack. The dude has hand speed. Andrei Arlovski is probably going to lose here, and this could very well be his last fight. And honestly, with the amount of money that the UFC is paying him, I'm shocked that he hasn't been cut. But, honestly, I just want to see him go out on a happy note. I don't want to see any of my favorite fighters retire off of losses anymore. It's sad, man. Especially when they're old, especially when they lose, and especially, you watch them get knocked out, they get up, they don't exactly know where they are. It's really, really sad to see. So, if Andrei Arlovski can get one final win right off to the sunset, and he didn't even say this is his last fight, but still, I would love to see that. But for Jim Miller still has it at 40 years old. I want him to keep winning. We already know that, assuming he doesn't take a lot of damage, he's going to be fighting at UFC 300. Against who? I don't know. But Jim Miller is one of my favorite fighters in the entire sport. Been watching him since I got into MMA. I love him as a person. I think he's a great guy behind the fighter that he is. And he has skills everywhere. He has all the heart in the world. He's put on classic after classic after classic. I will never forget, I became a super fan of Jim Miller through the Joe Lozon fights. Man, I love watching this dude perform. And what I want, like I said with Andrei Arlovski, but more importantly for Jim Miller, I want him to win this weekend, in a couple weeks, and then I want him to win at UFC 300 and retire. The end of Jim Miller fighting on UFC 100, 200, ending the retirement with a win at UFC 300, but he needs to have a good, quick performance. He needs to get a quick knockout like he did. Hopefully he gets by. Hopefully he doesn't take a lot of damage, but still, I wholeheartedly hope Jim Miller wins more than anybody on the card. Guys, I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Are there any fighters that you're going to be cheering for? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching the video, everybody. On the screen right now, if you'd like to continue watching the Clenbat channel, there'll be 2 videos on screen for you to check out. I will see you either there or in the next video, everybody. Take care.